G'day everybody, it is Duckville here. We've got a Protoss versus Zerg today. It should be a lot of fun. It's featuring one of my favorite Protoss players for the longest time ever up at the top right hand side. For Root Gaming, it is Sage. He's our Red Protoss here who, has been around for quite a while now. It was, of course, part of NS Hoso for quite a while, and then moved over to Team Root, one of their wonderful new pickups this year, 2013, I believe. He was just picked up a couple of months ago. It was really cool to see Sage get another really nice, high-quality team to be a part of. His opponent down at the bottom left-hand side of Whirlwind, one of the biggest maps to ever grace the StarCraft 2 scene. It is Quantic Gaming's Hyun. He, of course, is a long-time player of not only StarCraft Brood War, but StarCraft 2 as well. Has been around since since the days when NBC Game was called Pirates of Space. So he certainly knows a lot about the game, not only just on a general level, but on a competitive scene as well. So we'll see how these two players go. Of course, Whirlwind is just a massive map. There is so much space on this map. There is a nice expansion to take down here for a Zerg player. Do need to be a little bit careful from time to time of this ramp, just because of various sorts of attacks that can go through. Need to make sure it's nice and protected against things like that. There is a nice a third as well that can be very simple to take, and oh, whoops, that's not the third. That's the third there, you silly. That's the fourth down there. My bad. But you know what I mean. Lots of space, very big map. Central Zelnaga Watchtower. As we can see, it looks as if Sage is going to go for a Forge Fast Expand here. Nothing too crazy coming out from him for the time being. Just Forge will go up. We'll probably see... Wait, has he put that pylon too far forward? Oh, I don't know, but we'll see, Gateway, and then, Cyber, and then the cannon at the back there. So, that's just a general sort of situation when it comes to walling off this particular map. It is a little bit of a bigger sort of, natural wall off, but Sage is actually going to start us off with some cannon rushing. This is something which you don't get to see too often at the high level, but he is going to come across, and Hyun says, oh... I think he's just a little bit surprised about that, but Sage gets one cannon down, fully walled off, throws down a second cannon as well, and we'll see how he's going to keep this together. In fact, ooh, I don't like that. I'm actually really not a big fan of how he maneuvered that. Very nicely done by Hyun, and the two Lings get inside. Two Lings should be able to take care of this cannon, no trouble, but this one will get up and operational here. So we'll see what happens here. It looks as if Sage is going to have to either cancel that or perhaps lose those minerals, but he does cancel it. Lets this first cannon go to work. So Hyun's going to have a little bit of trouble getting rid of this, but I mean, we've got a queen on the way. In fact, there is already one queen already out, and a few Lings should be able to clear this up. Like, the main reason that this isn't too much of a hassle here for Hyun is the fact that this back section was opened up. I think what Sage was trying to do, when you're doing a cannon rush like this and you're trying to wall off, as we can see, Hyun is just going to finish that off. The first that sort of blocking pylon was in this position here, and we use red for our probe. The probe was here, and then the other cannon was being built sort of back here. What you want to do is, if you can build the next pylon, should actually go like there, and then despite the fact that there are drones pushing back on this first pylon, they won't be able to get in range to block the secondary one in time. And I believe that's what Sage was trying to do there, but it just was not quick enough on the draw. So he is relatively unsuccessful with that cannon rush. He did force a couple of Lings, so I suppose that's not too bad, but perhaps not worth the cost. Interestingly, what is this probe doing? We have a probe down on the southern side of the map. Let's see what Sage is up to back at home. Cybernetics Core is just on the way. Gas now coming in at the natural. A very quick gas here. This is a very fast third gas being added in for Sage. So we're going to see some sort of proxy Stargate, I would guess. It looks as if the Cybernetics Core is just on the way. The pylon just about to complete. And we'll see what Sage is going to do. Man, there is a lot of gas built up as well. We may even see double Stargate or something like that. But this is... I don't know, we'll see. It's very strange. The fact that he doesn't have 3 inside that gas is also a little bit strange as well. Hyun's going to see this. He should be able to see that and say, alright, that's a little bit of an earlier timing than you would expect. But we'll see how he reacts to that. Excuse me. We can see that there is now a double Stargate being built by Sage. So it is going to be a double of some variety. Whether it's a Void, Oracle, or Phoenix, we don't know yet. we can probably assume it's not going to be Void, just because Voids don't really do too well just by themselves. Just surely you can get out, like maybe if you can get sort of 3 or 4 Void Rays out, have a nice little Gateway Force on the ground, that'd be nice, but he doesn't have the minerals for a Gateway Force, so we'll see what happens. It looks as if Sage is going to go for something a little bit strange right here, and it is going to be double Oracles, so this is a build which is very rare to see, just namely because it is quite an investment. It delays so much of your tech, it delays so much of your economy at the same time, and it is something that you are hugely banking on. Not necessarily an all-in to the point of these must do damage or game is over. It's sort of a point of these oracles must do a reasonable amount of damage. Like he should be looking to kill at least sort of maybe 5 to 10 drones at a minimum. Without and then if he can keep the oracles alive, then that sort of decreases the drone required count to pass this test. So we'll see what Sage is going to be able to do with this here today. It looks like he has walled off at the front. We got the sentry there. Hyun should be able to see that the warp gate tech is just a tiny bit behind here. It's not a massive thing. It really focuses on him actually sort of keeping a keen eye on what's going on here at the front, but he should have seen that's a little bit later than you would normally expect from a Protoss player. So Sage himself has now gotten up to 42 probes. He's going to stop for a little while here, I would assume, and just get some units out, and we will see 4 oracles now moving out. So Sage is going to come across. For the moment, Hyun completely unprotected against this kind of thing. Queens don't really do a great amount of damage against oracles, especially when there are 4 or more. If you have this sort of count of oracles, you can actually go to town on the queens, and some would say that maybe you should actually go to town on the queens before you go on anything else. So Hyun now recognizes that his fate is very, very doomed at this point when it comes to a lot of the queens and the drones. It looks like Sage will target down the queens inside the main and then goes to work on the lair. This is, wow, like the reason this is so giggly at this point is because I'm sure many people way back to beta will remember when oracles actually did bonus damage to buildings, and this kind of play with double Stargate oracles or double proxy oracles was just a huge thing that everyone used to do, and it was just impossible to stop. Sage has brought it back. We have brought it back today. He's killed off that lair. That is going to delay Hyun for quite a while, but I'm very questionable as to how much damage was actually done there. We did lose an oracle. 2 of them are very low right now, and as we can see, it looks like Hyun, with his spider senses tingling, was able to find the proxy double Stargate, so we will be able to clear that up. The bonus of having these oracles out is that lings are barely a threat at this point. One thing that is a threat, though, are these roaches. We'll see how much damage that Hyun can get done here. We will see a few mortals pop out. Cannons being prepared at the front for Sage to defend his natural base. Gateways in the back as well, and well, you know, he's not actually as far behind as I would have thought at this point, but his supply is a big factor. We'll see how much he can, if he's going to be able to protect this at this point, because now Hydras are coming in for Hyun. He's going to have the Groove Spines that is now researching. Extra Queens now popping up as well. A few Spore Crawlers inside the natural base, and even an Infestation Pit is now going down. So Hyun really investing in his tech at this point. He's saying, alright, well, yeah, haha, joke's on you. I'm going to have all the cool tech, and you'll still sort of be stuck on either lots of oracles or you'll have very limited robotech. So Sage in a position here where he needs to be very, very careful now. He will probably look to take a 3rd base. He will need a lot more sentries than what he has right now, though. So expect to see a lot of sentries warping in. This observer wants to scout out what's going on. He wants to see what's happening through the middle here, where are all the units of Hyun, and what is he exactly sitting on. We can see that there are a lot of roaches ready to go. They are going to make their way up slowly to the front. It looks like these lings are going to come back and polish off the rest of those Stargates. The oracles, meanwhile, all 6 of them, there would have been 7, but unfortunately we lost one. Now just making their way across to the 4th base. Going to deny that 4th, and not often you get to see oracles do that these days. But they will make their way across. It looks like they're trying to find a bit of a sweet spot inside the natural or the main, but there are just too many spores at this point. Spores doing way too much DPS to actually let an oracle get anything done. And now with roaches and hydras out, Hyun is in a pretty he's in a pretty nice spot at this point. 131 supply against the 104 of the Protoss Sage. So Sage is now starting to mix in some extra tech. In fact, it looks like we are going to go for a timing attack here with the double Immortal and then maybe 2 Colossi. Yeah, very similar to the build that we get to see quite a lot in high-level Protoss versus Zerg, which is this double Immortal, double Colossus. Or in fact, no, he's actually just going to switch it up. We're going to try and take a third base. So this should be really interesting here from Sage. If he's able to hold this third base, you would say that he's actually going to be able to make his way back into this game, but he's a little bit behind at the moment, as we said. His tech just a tiny bit further behind where it would normally be. But Pure getting his +1 missiles just upgraded now, along with the carapace. The Hive is now switching across at the Hive is now switching across at the natural base. Not often you get to see that either. So lots of very quirky sorts of things going on in this game. It looks like Sage is going to try and find a little bit of an angle of attack here inside the third base, but I don't think he's going to have too much luck. He may be able to target down the Spore, perhaps, and then do something about this base, but we'll see. It looks like he's trying to find that spot. Targets down an Extractor instead, sees that there is only one Spore and says hello, goodbye, and takes down a few drones while he's at it. Looks like some of the Queen is also going to have a shot at trying to defend the base, but not to worry there. The Oracle's able to take that out quite easily. So he does get a few more kills there. Not too bad. It's 10 in total. But I mean, that's 10 in total across the, across this whole very early sort of tech push that Sage has made. So we did take out the Lair, delayed Hyun a tiny bit, but I mean, he's now up to 2-2 on his upgrades right now. Vipers are out, Hydras are out. The drone count is up to 64, while Sage sits back at a lowly 49 at this position right now. So he has been able to secure a third base. This is very important here. And now it looks as if he is possibly looking to take a fourth. Wow, that's very early timing on that fourth there. I'm not sure if that's the greatest idea from Sage, nor is moving out into this position in the middle of the map. We'll see if he is able to take some sort of advantage here, but I highly doubt it. It looks as if Hyun, with a couple of Vipers, yanking in the Colossi, yanking in those Mothership cores, blinding cloud all over the ground as well. You can barely see that, and Sage massively caught out of position there. The fourth base, or this attempt at sort of walling the fourth in preparation to take that Nexus, a bit of an overreach there. If he had have perhaps beefed up his units and then pushed out with this force in the middle, yeah, sure, that would have had a little bit more of a viable sort of tone to it. But moving out with that very small force, Sage way out of position there, caught out by the Zerg player QNTC, and Hyun will take the game. Hope you enjoyed the match. I'll catch you all next time. Now just got one inside the gas geyser. In fact, he's taken 2 out, so we'll see if he's just planning something a little bit fishy here. But the spawning pool not quivering at the moment. This is one sign that you have to be very careful of when you're approaching